Okay, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where we are and why we're here?
I'm George Galloway. I'm the leader of the Workers' Party, and this is our annual Congress in Birmingham. But much of the conversation has been about London, because I declared this day that I will be running for Mayor of London. I've got the signatories. You need 30 signatories, 10 signatories from 33 boroughs, so 330 signatories, and I've got them double, just in case there are any slip-ups. So I'm poised now to enter the race, and I'm going to give Sadiq Khan a run for his money, because there are hundreds of thousands of people in London who are deeply upset by the Labour Party's betrayal on Gaza, its betrayal of the Palestinian people, its refusal to do anything about bringing an end to this awful slaughter, and they are determined to punish Keir Starmer's Labour Party, and they need somebody to vote for. Well, in me, they will.
British politics is getting increasingly like US politics. You need a lot of money to get to these positions. And also, of course, do you really think Londoners would ever elect a Scotsman to run their city?
Yes, well, they elected Sadiq Khan. They plainly, London is a cosmopolitan city. There are very substantial numbers of Scottish people in London, and Scottish people of Irish extraction like me. There's a lot of Irish people in London. There's a lot of Muslim people in London who are enormously upset by Keir Starmer. There's a lot of Afro-Caribbean people who are mindful of the role I've played over decades in anti-colonial struggles, the struggle for freedom in South Africa and so on. And there are millions of white English working class people who deserve a Labour Party worthy of the name, and they don't have one. Keir Starmer is nothing to do with Labour. On ULEZ, for example, if I'm the mayor, there'll be no ULEZ. This fetish about net zero is something that is deeply harmful to working class people. Of course, climate is an issue, though it's certainly not globally warming here right now in Birmingham. It's freezing. But the method of punishing working class people for driving, for travelling to their work, travelling to such leisure as they can now afford, this has got to stop. This infatuation, this fetish about the environment, exemplified in the ULEZ issue, is something I'll be tackling if I'm elected mayor.
Will that be the very first thing that you do, George?
I would say scrapping ULEZ will be the first act as mayor that I will take. But the second act will be to make all those people who felt completely alienated over this last period. I mean, I've got to say, I think Sadiq Khan has been a disastrous mayor, quite apart from Gaza, quite apart from Palestine. He's a failed experiment, as I predicted he would be at the time. He's the worst mayor of London we've ever had, and we had Boris Johnson as the mayor of London. Khan is by far the worst. So you wouldn't have to do much to be a better mayor than him. If you look at crime, for example, crime on the underground is up 50%. The police are unsupported, or they are diverted to his politically correct causes. They're reduced to dancing in his LGBTQ plus trans parades. People are entitled to parade, but we don't want our policemen parading. We don't want our policemen twerking at the Notting Hill Carnival. We don't want a police service, we want a police force. We want our children to be able to safely go on the underground, our children to be able to safely walk the streets of London. There's no point in bragging that the air quality in Oxford Street has improved by X percent if when you walk off Oxford Street into a side street, you take your last breaths dying from a stabbing attack in Soho. And that is the London that we've got. We've got a mayor who's more concerned with politically correct causes than with the basics of the job. And the first basic of the job is the protection of the people of London, and we don't have it.
So what about with Ken Livingstone when he stood as an outsider? That was actually in a way a different world because he'd already been Mayor of London when he was abolished
head of the
before.
GLC,
he was abolished before. For an outsider to come in like yourself, if you don't mind me calling you that, it's going to be far more difficult. We've got an increasingly Americanised politics in this country, and that's why so few people are bothering to vote. Apart from the Brexit vote, which had a very good turnout, voter turnouts are falling. What would you say to people that this time you've got to come and vote?
Well, there's everybody's an outsider in London, first of all. Most people in London weren't born in London. I wasn't born within the Bow Bells. That's true.
I mean, an outsider, not in one of the main political parties, George.
Yeah. But I was the Member of Parliament for Bethnal Green and Bow. I stood for Mayor of London against Sadiq Khan. I got 144,000 votes, first and second preference votes. I'm looking for, now that there's no longer preferences, I'm looking for a big six-figure vote. And if I get it, I'll win.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, George.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
I
George.
must go in, it's cold.
No, that's